Hello and welcome to Master Your Mindset with your host, Isis Foster. This is the place to be for anyone who is on a personal development journey. I will be sharing with you my own mindset hacks and personal past experiences. Please subscribe and share if you enjoy what I'm about to share with you and you've taken value from it. You never know who may need to hear it. Many times have you heard the phrase, it's mind over matter? I know for myself personally, I have heard this phrase over and over again. And on today's podcast, I really want to break this phrase down and see what it actually means and how it actually has relevance in day-to-day life. So obviously, your mind determines how you see your life. It is the strongest, most effective thing that you could build upon, which is why so many people invest into coaches, invest into mentorship programs, because they want to be surrounded by people that can implement better skills into their life to help strengthen their mind. So how do you change your mindset to think positively? If it's a case of mind over matter, what can you do in yourself to begin to change the way you see certain situations? I know for me personally, before I even knew what personal development was, or I even knew that it was something that you could actually do yourself, I used to look at situations and used to think the way that I'm viewing the situation is the only way the situation can be viewed. Fast forward 4 years now, since I started personal development, that could not be further from the truth, because the way that you view situations is dependent on where your mindset is. So we can break this down into a few simple steps for you if you want to be able to view situations in a more positive light. First of all, look at your daily habits. What are you doing on a daily basis to try and make yourself feel better? What are you doing on a daily basis to try and grow your mind's eye? So for me personally, I like to spend a solid 20 minutes a day reading. So this could be literally anything. It could be a mindset book, it could be a novel, a magazine, whatever it is. It's something which is triggering my brain to think differently about what I am considering. I also love to exercise. So this is something which I have now implemented into my routine on a weekly basis. So I will go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week. And every single day within the week, so 7 times a week, I will be making sure I'm doing at least 10,000 steps. So moving your body is another thing which can really positively influence your daily routine. And then you need to think on a more long-term basis. What do I want to achieve long-term? Do I want to look at situations and feel this way every time something bad happens to me? Or do I want to be able to grow my mind and grow myself so that if something bad does happen to me or a negative situation does occur, I'm able to view it in a different light? Because having the power to do that is incredible. And there are a lot of people that think the way that you see one situation is the way you will see every situation, and that is just not the case. And also, this one is absolutely massive. Look at who you're surrounding yourself with. If you are surrounding yourself with people who view every single situation in your life in a negative way, chances are you are going to begin to do the same as them. So anything bad that happens, those people around you should be the ones that say, oh, don't worry, like we can do this and X, Y, Z to change whatever it is. But if you've got people around you who are like, oh my goodness, this is the end of the world, like you're never going to overcome this. Number one, that's not going to make you feel good. And number two, it's not going to allow you to see any kind of options for getting out of that situation. So make sure you are surrounding yourself with the optimistic people, not the pessimistic, because before long, if you are optimistic at this stage and you're only surrounding yourself with pessimistic people, you will become one of them. There's that saying, isn't there? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that honestly is so, so true. Take time for yourself as well, guys. If you feel like you're in a situation and all you've done is put your focus on that situation, maybe it's time to catch a break. Maybe it's time to have a change of scenery, go on holiday, go for a walk, take yourself on some retail therapy, whatever it is you need to do to take your mind off of that situation which is bringing you down, go and do it. And I know I mentioned this in my last podcast as well, but having reflection periods is so key if you're trying to see how far you've come and trying to overcome a tricky situation. Hindsight is a beautiful thing, and it is something which only occurs once you've taken the time to reflect on whatever the situation is which you have gone through. Mind over matter. We all hear this so often, and it's very rare that the situation is actually the problem. What is more common than not is the way that you are viewing that situation and the way that your mind is interpreting that situation. So if you have done the inner work on yourself, if you've worked alongside a coach or you've read personal development books, you will know now that any situation can be overcome. If you are in a position now where you're feeling really down about something, there is always something that you can do to try and make yourself feel better. You are never stuck in a certain situation. Life is forever changing. Situations come and go. You're not a tree and you don't have to stay in one place. Situations can always be bettered, but you need to be able to know how to do that. So it's a great feeling when you are in a position where something bad happens to you. Hang on in there, guys, I'm going to finish this. Something bad happens to you, but you know that isn't the end of the road for you. You know that there is stuff you have the power to do in yourself to overcome that challenging situation. So being in a position to know that there are things that you can do to better your current situation is so, so powerful, because it essentially means that you are never going to be stuck in a situation which you could feel that is holding you back. Being able to put yourself out there and push yourself further and take control of the situation is so, so powerful, because there are so many people out there who, when bad things happen to them, they stop, they freeze, and they stay stuck because they haven't got the knowledge within them to know what to do after that point, which is why so many people work with coaches and work with mentors, because those people have more often than not, gone through challenging situations themselves, but are now knowledgeable into what to do next to get yourself out of that situation, or knowing what to do to be able to overcome that hard situation. And that is where the saying mind over matter comes from, because let's face it, we all have hardships in our life. We all go through things which are awful, and some are really tragic. Whatever it is, there is always going to be a way out of it. There's always going to be something which can happen to overcome that situation. And that is where the saying mind over matter comes from, because regardless of what the situation is, if your mind is in a position where it knows how to overcome those situations, you are never going to be stuck in a bad situation. You're always going to know what you need to do to be able to overcome that situation. So you will always have the power mentally to control a physical situation with your mind. So the ability to keep going when you're tired is so powerful. For example, marathon runners, I'm sure when they first started training, they probably got really tired, and there was probably multiple occasions where they stopped. But guess what? Their coaches probably gave them techniques to think of when they were running so that they didn't stop. Things to distract their mind. Their focus wasn't on how tired they were. Their focus was on the finish line, or things that come after completing the marathon. Reaping the reward is something which will trick your brain into wanting to get to wherever you want to be. And that is exactly what separates the winners from the rest of the people in life. So if you are focusing on something and you really want to overcome it, but you're struggling in the process, then maybe this is the time now to reach out to someone who can help you, someone who's already done what you're trying to do, someone who's a couple of levels ahead of you in life. It's not bad to ask for help. The best people, the most successful people in the world, have all worked with someone who has been in the position that they wanted to be in. That is how you progress in life. You learn from people who have already done what you want to do in life. So your mind can either make or break you, and whichever one it is down to you. You have complete control over which paths you want to take in life, and it's your mind that will guide you there. So make sure, if you do anything this week, it is to strengthen your mind in some shape or form. Thank thank you for listening. If you've loved what I've shared with you today, please give me a tag on Instagram at IsisFoster1 and share it with those around you. You never know who may need to hear it. Don't forget to follow me on here so you never miss an episode. I hope you have a beautiful day.